Welcome back to Too Dumb for Games. It's me, your boy, your DM, Jacob. How's it going, guys?
It's wonderful. I'm ready to record this podcast about fantasy and elves and wizards and Dungeons and Dragons.
And crabs.
Yeah, and crabs and insurance fraud.
Right.
Oh, I forgot about the insurance fraud arc.
Don't worry. There'll be
It's not over. Don't worry.
No, it's not over.
We won't let it die.
We're investigating.
Yeah, don't worry. There'll be a recap for you, Henry. All of our audience are definitely caught up on what's going on. All two of them, probably.
It's the most compelling lead.
It's true. Anyway, so like I said, I'm Jacob. I'm the DM, and we are playing a 5th edition game, and it's sort of a mashup between Serpent Skull, a really good Pathfinder adventure path, and Tomb of Annihilation, a really good 5th edition. They're not adventure paths. I don't know what they're called. Adventure module?
Sure.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, who are you guys? What are you playing?
I am Nick, and I am playing the character Montlimar, the Ever-Dying. I am an incredibly old wizard.
All right. I am Thomas. I am playing Titus Jaculate, the Triton Paladin, and I'm pretty excited about it.
My name is Phineas. My name is Henry. My character's
He's
name.
too deep in fiction.
I am there. I am seeing through his eyes. We are on a beach. It is cold and I am wet. I am Phineas Thatch. I am a knowledge cleric, wood elf, anthropologist. In that order.
Yeah. So just to recap, the last episode, you guys were on a cargo ship called Guinevere. You were heading towards Chult when, through some, from what you guys can gather, nefarious acts from either one or more members of the crew. The ship has crash landed on a spooky cursed island known as the Shiv. The only survivors of the wreck that you are aware of so far are the 3 of you and the passengers that were with you that night, whose names are Eris. She is a half-elf sailor. During the last episode, once you guys crashed on the island, you realized that she was very sick because of her alcoholism, and you helped her by finding some wine on the ship to sort of to help wean her.
I think we threw some rotten bananas in a box and topped them off with some water, too. Started up a little brewery for her. Yeah,
there was an idea of making an island brewery just so she can be weaned off the stuff. There was Gaelic, a very unfriendly gnome who so far has not really proved to be useful at all. He's just been griping the entire time about the situation.
He did point out that our insurance fraud idea was stupid, which I appreciated because it is.
There was also a Ishiru, a man of Eastern descent. He has proven to be pretty quiet and stoic, but very helpful throughout everything. Was also Jask, who was a prisoner on the ship who managed to survive. He was still shackled. You guys freed him once you found out he was a cleric and he was willing to help. You're not really sure what his crime is. Gaelic accuses him of murder, whereas Jask has claimed that his crimes are more white-collar than that. And then lastly, there is Sasha. She is sort of the mystery among the group. She's kept a very good demeanor the entire time. Doesn't really seem too fazed by everything that's going on, but has been helping. So last episode, you guys killed some crabs, started dismantling what was left of the Guinevere that you could, and started making a small base camp. So it's the morning of the next day. What are you guys doing?
Montlimar has busied himself by he's taken over the position of the camp cook and has created a what he insists is a delicious crab stew for everybody out of those crabs that we magic missiled to death yesterday.
Okay, I'm into it.
Sounds good. I think that Titus has been swimming around the island to get an idea of if there is anything else we can salvage, other shipwrecks, anything of interest.
Okay.
Phineas has been up all night making lists of things that we have to do and comparing different maps and atli to see if he can determine where'st we have washed ashore.
Okay, cool. So you guys can based off of Phineas's maps and Titus is swimming around the island, you guys definitely know that you crashed sort of on the northeastern shore. So it does face some shipping lanes. You haven't seen any of the lights of ships off in the distance, and I don't know if you guys have attempted to create a signal fire yet. But I think we'll pick up with Titus first. Or actually, we'll pick up we'll do Phineas first. So last night you slept terribly.
Oh shit.
Not necessarily because of, I mean, your situation sucks. I mean, you were probably uncomfortable anyway.
The situation sucks. I'm sleeping on rocks all night, and I ate crab, but I'm allergic slightly to shellfish, and my throat's swole.
I've been thinking about the crab stew, and I'm pretty sure I can reheat some of that, and I'll just throw a little of this ocean grass in there, and I think it'll make it a lot better instead of just coconut milk and seawater and crab.
Well, I guess I could have that. I'm still allergic.
Well, the seagrass might temper it a little bit. Come on, here's a spoonful. I just reheated it on the fire.
Oh, it's so hot. Oh.
Yes, it's going to burn quite a bit going down.
Oh, you're dripping it down my shirt.
Well, you have to kill the bacteria.
No, that's not how you do that.
But the main reason for your very bad night of sleep was you were plagued by nightmares. All night long. Roll a will save for me.
All right, let me get
or a
them.
wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, hell yeah! All right, rolling action. I rolled an 8, but I have bonuses to wisdom saving throws. +5. That's a 13 there.
Okay, cool. So with a 13, you recall parts of your dreams. You remember a noise very akin to a child crying, but a very, very large one at that. You remember black spiraling towers and being deep, deep somewhere underground, but there was a heartbeat. A very prevalent heartbeat the entire time.
There's a huge baby out there somewhere.
Do these dreams strike me as, like, important? Like, significant? Or do I just think, wow, I sure was allergic to that crab and it gave me nightmares?
Well, I would say that's more up to you, but as you are preparing your morning spells, you do, although you're able to prepare your spells just fine, it seemed a bit more difficult today.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep the dreams in mind. I'm gonna know that I had them, but I'm not gonna make a big deal of it because I think they're just dreams. But I'm gonna look off in the distance, kind of like pensively.
Okay.
Wait for the sounds of a huge screaming baby.
Yeah, like that. Like wait for the big ocean baby to come and sweep us away.
And so now we'll go to Titus. Titus, you have been continuing your work, sort of gathering supply from what's left of the Guinevere. You rolled a 1 last time when you were searching the ship, so I told you it would take you longer to sort of find something important if there was anything to be found. I will say at this point, you have searched that ship head to foot except for one final compartment. The two things that you know for certain are the captain's body is not anywhere to be found. You guys have been able to find essentially most of the sailors that were on that ship. Their bodies either have washed up or have been floating out in the water somewhere. And then, so you found you've not been able to find the captain's body or the body of Ayana, the other passenger. She was the one who was a scholar who sort of kept to her room by herself. And you go into this final chamber in the ship that's at the sort of the very belly of it, and once you open that door, or once you swing open the door and swim in, you find the body of the first mate, Alton Devers, floating there in the water. You can see that there's blood in the water. It seems that he probably drowned, but he was injured maybe before the ship went down, or maybe hurt as the ship was going down.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and try and pull this guy to shore.
Okay.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Just leave him there for the crabs.
Yeah.
Investigate the body.
Yeah, I'll say you do that. You pull him ashore quite easily, and once you get to shore, everyone.
You brought us something else for the cookbot, I see. Young Phineas, come here. I've got something else for you to eat other than crab. You'll be fine.
I'm really sure that we shouldn't eat that man.
Yeah, his toast are very delicious.
As
you've already had some.
As a reminder, you guys thought that the first mate was the one who was committing the insurance fraud.
Yeah.
You pull the first mate onto the shore. Everybody sort of gathers around him. Jask immediately gets down and starts like examining his body, and everyone else is just sort of stone cold silence as Gaelic looks at all of you and is just like, "Well, now, I feel like the first mate was the crux of your insurance fraud plan. What's your new theory on this now? If he's dead, then what happened?"
Life insurance fraud.
Very astute. Very astute, young Phineas. Is that crab working?
Okay, my face is really swollen up on one side. And I'm having a hard time breathing. I would like that to be on the record.
Yeah, I think Titus is just trying to not let on that he has no idea what either insurance is or why human bodies seem so frail in the water.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, everyone else is just sort of like stunned silence right now as Jask gets up and he's just like, it looks like he was stabbed and bled out maybe before the ship went down. He's got a pretty nasty gash in his gut.
Well, you are our resident murder expert.
He just walks away.
Good. Now that we're alone. So it was definitely the captain then. He's the only body not accounted for, right?
No, Professor Montlimar, I think you're forgetting about Ayana, the quiet, bookish girl who is studying in her room.
Oh, I did forget about her. I never really talked to her very much. So Ayana and the captain committed double life insurance fraud?
She might have been cooking the books back there.
Oh, this is most disturbing. Titus, what do you think? Does this all sound credible to you? I'm a bit sun blasted here. I'm afraid I'm not thinking quite right.
Yeah, I have to lie down. I really don't feel well.
do the books taste better cooked, or?
Sasha sort of interjects, and she just says in her normal chipper voice, she's like, "I don't know. I mean, the captain sort of would have to prove. I mean, I don't. It's probably life insurance fraud, but I mean, why wouldn't he come back for the body? I mean, maybe we should go find the captain and ask him. I mean, it seems like him and Ayana ditched us. Either they're in the jungle deeper. Either they made it to shore before us, or they took a life raft out to the shipping lanes. But I don't think they'd last too long out there."
Did we have a life raft? Do we know if we had a life raft? Is that a possibility, or is it more likely they're on the island?
Roll
Nature.
intelligence.
I got some of that.
Roll
what can I add to that? Insight. Can I add insight?
Yeah, roll. Yeah, do an insight check.
Roll an insight check.
Or investigation. That would make more sense.
Investigate. I'm going to roll an investigation check.
Is that for everybody?
Mhm.
Okay.
You can all roll and investigate. So who got the?
I got a 15.
Montlimar with his vast wizard brain got a 23.
Jesus.
Wow.
Probably.
Montlimar remembers that the ship had one lifeboat, although I'll say just because the way we're playing up Titus, he probably doesn't know what a lifeboat is. Or maybe just doesn't really understand the significance of a smaller boat on the big boat.
Unfamiliar with why that would be significant.
But based off of everything that Titus has told you, Montlimar, you know for a fact the lifeboat is gone. That it was taken at some point.
Yeah, I'd imagine I would have brought it on shore to salvage it if.
Yeah, if it was still out there, but it wasn't.
You brought it back and you've already started disassembling it, so we can't use it.
Right, I
don't understand
disassemble it
why
so we can
why
build
that's-
something
yeah.
out of it.
We
You
need
said-
to
you
build
said you
a
needed
boat.
wood to build a boat, so here's.
Okay, so we know the captain and Ayana are gone. First mate was murdered, or at least attacked before the ship sank, and the lifeboat's gone. So probably more likely that the captain and Ayana are on the island somewhere, so we should probably just start looking around the island.
Do you guys search the first mate's body?
I thought Titus was
didn't
doing that.
someone do that when we found that stab wound?
Titus was mostly, I think, tasting toes.
I
Ah.
think
That's
bottom feeding.
That's fine.
Yes, we investigate the corpse.
You guys do take a further examination of the corpse. He definitely was stabbed in the gut. It seemed like it was definitely a fatal blow, but you don't think it was fatal enough that he would have bled out immediately. So you're not exactly sure how he ended up where he ended up, but you do know that he was attacked by a sword and not by any sort of splintering wood or impact the ship would have made when it hit the rocks. The only thing you see, you pick through his pockets, and you find the captain's log.
We could build a boat out of that.
We could. I could add some paper to the stew for texture. Is it still legible?
Yeah, so I will say that you guys take it's definitely waterlogged, not all the pages are all together there, and some of the and even some of the ink has begun to fade. But you take some time and you're able to sort of piece together what's going on in his log. An examination of the log reveals that the Winnebago's captain seemed to be suffering from like some sort of like madness as the journey went on. Earlier entries from previous voyages are precise in recording the events, and then about like halfway through your trip, everything seemed good. Yet as it gets to closer and closer into where the current date, you see that there are several days missing, and he begins to sort of start writing less and less on the journey itself and more on the passengers, and more precisely on the scholar Ayana. It seems that he became obsessed with her about halfway through the journey. So several entries are nothing more than just poorly written love poems, and then near the end, the entries begin to take more of an anonymous tone as the captain's starting to complain about other members of the crew eyeing his Ayana. In particular, he suspects that the first mate is in love with her, and writes several times that he wishes Alton would just have an accident. The final entry is more disturbing. In the captain, his last entry says how he's going to change the course to smuggler Shiv at Ayana's request, and he hopes that the two of them can make a home on the remote island.
Well, that certainly is clearing some things up.
Somebody's been drinking too much seawater. Happens to the best of us.
Sasha's like, oh, wow, it's really romantic.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure that it is. I'm not.
I mean, it's fucked up, but he was willing to, I don't know, like, kill a bunch of people for the woman he loved.
But don't try and make him the good guy in this. This man is a criminal and a scumbag, and he needs to be stopped.
The gnome speaks up, and he's like, you were just talking about eating the first mate, weren't you?
He's dead already. What's the matter with you? I'm not going to go eat the captain. I'm going to bring him to justice. It all makes sense, don't you see? Titus, Finn, you agree with me, right?
Well, he's not very tasty.
Well, fine. Maybe somebody else should be there, should cook the man, if you don't like the way I do it.
Eris gets up, and she sort of stumbles over to you guys. She's doing a little bit better today. You were able to find more wine on the ship, so she's been trying to keep herself sober, but also not be too sick. And she's like, well, if the captain and Ayana are to do with this, then I definitely agree. We need to bring them to justice of some sort. But I mean, who's going to go out into the jungle? The Shiv's a dangerous place. I've passed it several times, and I've heard just horrible stories about this accursed island. I mean, we've only been on here a day, and there was that strange thing that flew above us last night, and you know, I mean, everything doesn't bode well so good so far, and I've heard that there's worse things on this island than strange flying creatures. Ghosts, zombies, cannibals even.
Did you say camels?
Cannibals, like your friend here.
That's much worse, sorry.
I am a man of necessity. I act when acting is needed, and I'm not going to bind myself to the morals of society. And
but we had so much crab. There's still crab.
Well, it sat out all night and it's turned.
How long is that man sitting in the water?
He's brining. It's delicious. It's a fantastic way to prepare your meat. But anyways, no, I mean we're a capable group of seasoned adventurers, and I am a well-studied master of the arcane arts. I have learned under the best in the world, and we are going to venture out onto this island and kill any crabs or huge bats that might be out there. We're going to find the captain and find a way off of this horrible, horrible thing that he's brought us to.
So I assume it'll just be the three of you then, because I'm not going out there.
Would you like to come?
No. Literally what I just said. Not doing it.
Titus, you could probably strap him to your back.
I will carry the puny man.
Okay.
I will bite you.
Do you want to stay? Do you want to come out and adventure, or do you want to stay back here and eat the first mate? It's up to you.
No, I'm going to stay here. I'm not going. To be fair, I am not going to eat the first mate, but I will stay here.
That's what you say now.
We will bring him a snack.
Just wait till the sun madness sets in.
Eris and Jask step up. Eris still is sort of shaking, but she's like, I don't necessarily want to, but I mean, I'll go. And then Jask steps up as well, and he says, yes, I don't think that more than 4 of us should go, but 4 should go and 4 should stay back here, and I will be willing to travel with you 3 or stay back with the camp. The choice is yours.
Do we want to, Montlimar asides to everybody, do we want to bring the
Murderer?
Do we want to bring the murderer slash, I think maybe he might just be a banking criminal, but it's hard to say right now. Perhaps we could find out if we bring him with us.
Either way, he's still dangerous. But this is a dangerous mission we're going on.
Well, if it's bank crimes, there's no banks out here.
Well, we can always leave him to the zombies, or something.
True. If it turns out he's a bad dude, we can just dump him in a cannibal pit and run the other way.
I'm basically against that, but I say we bring Jask.
And just to give you guys some more information, Eris has a sword with her and some armor, and Jask, although he doesn't have any weapons or armor since he did not come with any, you do know that he is a cleric. He's specifically a knowledge cleric as well.
Oh, shit.
And can do healing spells.
Oh, we don't need him. I got that.
Yeah.
No, leave that loose.
Yeah,
Here.
we can-
Bring
yeah, we-
someone who's not gonna make
yeah,
me look
let's-
bad.
Yeah,
How
we
about
got
that?
more warriors.
He just shoves, I got this. And he just shoves you out of the way every time. The party slowly becomes to love Jask and hate Phineas.
I mean, I feel like if we're venturing into a dangerous woods, if I'm heading in with the old guy and the map nerd, I feel like it might be good to have somebody else with a sword.
Yeah, let's bring the sword. On second thought, let's not bring Jask. He could murder any one of us at any time.
Yes, let's let him murder the people back here.
That's smart.
Yes. Also, I noticed that I put chaotic good as my alignment when I started this game. I'm just going to go ahead and switch that to from a G to an N.
Makes a bit more sense to
If
me.
you're eating people, like, you can probably bump that down another little layer.
He's not eating living people. I feel
See,
like,
thank
know.
you. I feel
All
like
the
that's the
parts of the
thing everybody's
buffalo.
forgetting here. The man's been brining in the ocean for 24 hours.
He's goddamn delicious. He's like
Aged like a fine cheese.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to head out into the Shiv.
Okay. Before we go, Phineas wants to make sure that the people staying behind are going to start a big bonfire that can be spotted by vessels passing close by.
Yeah, they're going to
Because,
start getting a
like
signal
Grandpa,
fire going.
Like Grandpa Thatch always said, hedge your fucking bets, kid.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Thanks, Grandpa.
So yeah, go ahead and who's going to roll survival? So basically, we're getting into sort of the jungle travel rules right now. We don't have to get too deep in on it, and although the Shiv has a deep jungle on it, it's not so thick that you can't travel through pretty easily. So essentially, you guys will tell me what direction you want to go and roll a survival check. One person can roll it. They'll be the lead of the party, and then one other person can assist. And then if you roll well, then you'll make good time. You might find interesting things. And if you roll bad, then you'll make poor time, and poor things will happen.
I've got a -1, so let's not do me.
Yeah, Montlimar is more of like the bookish academic or academy type, so he's not very good. He's a quick learner, but he's not good at survival right now.
I've got 3.
Yeah,
I've got 1, 2, 3 survivals.
Yeah.
So Phineas is going to take the lead then.
Oh, and while we're out and about, I would like to roll a knowledge nature to look for medicinal plants that will reduce my face swelling.
Okay, go ahead and roll your survival, then roll your knowledge nature.
All right. Survival is 21.
Okay, yeah, you're going to be able to lead these guys through this thicket pretty easily. And now your nature.
Nature is 15 plus 4 plus 2, so 21.
Okay, yeah, you're able to find you're gonna you find some herbs not even too deep into the woods right after you guys step off the shoreline. That is that you can use to reduce your swelling, as well as we'll get to it at a rest. But I'll have it give everyone an extra hit die at a rest.
That's pretty. This is some good herbs. If he'd rolled badly on that, would he have found some herbs that made his face swelling worse?
Yes.
If he would have rolled even better, would he have discovered the secret recipe to KFC chicken?
Not this time. Not on this island.
That's on a much worse island. A much more evil island.
Okay, yeah, so you guys make good time. And so what are you guys trying to find right now? Where
Footsteps, loose pages from a scholar's novel.
Dragon turtles,
always dragon turtles, little kiss marks on trees.
Okay. You guys travel south, and you stay inside the forest, but also keeping on the shoreline, just so you don't lose your way. And probably about quarter or half a mile south of you on the shoreline, you find a little cove, and you find the remnants of a quickly rigged shelter and evidence of a small campfire that sit above high tide in this narrow sandy beach. It definitely looks like it's been used recently.
Okay, great. Look, I found their campfire. Let's look for clues.
Yeah, do an investigate.
That's not so good. Got a little 7 there.
Montlimar is an immaculate investigator, so he got a 15.
Okay.
He is going to check out their what they've been cooking and how they've been eating, and judge it against his own, and then also try and determine how well off they might be on this island, or if they are just shipwrecked passengers like ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, with a 15, you find some discarded refuse. It doesn't look like they really cooked much. It seems like what they're eating are travel rations. So whoever landed here came prepared. And you find discarded items of clothing. You find a tricorn hat, very similar to the one that Captain Kovac was wearing, and you see some brightly colored scarves, those that you believe belonged to the scholar Iana.
I put on the scarves.
You look very pretty.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels right.
Usurp her role.
Who's smart now, scholar?
If you guys want to try to find their trail, you can roll survival.
Survival 12.
Okay. It takes you a little while, but you're able to find their tracks that lead further inland.
Very good. I found the trail, guys. Come on.
Good job, young Phineas. Does it look like so are they just tagging, like, are they both walking in the same direction, or does it look like perhaps the captain took Diana as a prisoner,
or do I see signs of dragging?
You are not, you didn't roll high enough to tell that. You can tell that there's two footsteps, or two separate pairs of footprints. There doesn't seem to be a struggle, but you don't see anything that indicates that they are both traveling willingly.
They could be struggling. They could be dancing. I have no way to know.
This is all very weird.
It's a weird little place we got. Do I see little kiss marks on trees? Little bees that are in love, maybe? Flowers that have opened up for the first time upon gazing at True Love's kiss.
It's beautiful. That's a beautiful tale you're weaving,
isn't it? Little monkeys that are screaming.
This campfire seems a lot more romantic now. I feel like.
It lit their passion, that's for sure. If the flames could talk, but alas, all they can do is express their beauty through dance. If we could speak the dance of the flames, maybe we too would know passion.
Maybe I'll switch from conjuration wizard to evocation wizard and make Montlimar a dancer.
Seems nice.
So I'll say with that, what'd you roll? 13?
12.
12. Okay, you're able to follow the tracks further into the jungle. It definitely leads away into the beach and is making a course deeper and deeper into the thick. You guys travel for about 2 miles and come upon a trail. Hello, it's me again, your friendly neighborhood DM, Jacob. I just want to take a second to thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you're enjoying everything so far, why not leave us a like and help our channel grow? Maybe even hit that old subscribe button or tell a friend about us. Every little bit helps to turn this passion project of ours into something so much more. Lastly, we want to improve the show and the channel, so if there's something you like that we're doing, leave us a comment below. Alternatively, if there's something you don't like, tell us about that too. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. Thanks for listening. Back to the episode. The trail itself looks, it doesn't look, it looks maintained. This isn't just like a trail for animals to follow. It looks like this is...
Wait, I thought this was an abandoned island, or like a deserted island.
You thought.
Bum, 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 bum.
And so, all right, so it's like, it's not just something they made, like this is something that's been here for a while.
This looks like a very well-traveled path.
Well, this must be those lovely cannibals we've heard so much about.
Yeah, you see Eris, and she's like, God damn it, listen, the thing about tall tales on the sea is most of them are untrue. Until you get here, and I fucking hate this place.
Well, we don't know that they're
She's like,
cannibals.
the one time... Well, who else made these tracks?
I don't know. Manimals.
Well, that's...
She takes a bigger swig.
I'm intrigued.
Grandpa used to talk about manimals. Huge man-animal hybrids that used to eat people.
What was your grandpa's name?
His name was Ludicrous Thatch.
All right, I was hoping for a Dr. Moreau bait, but I think Ludicrous Thatch is probably even better.
This is very good. I'm gonna have to draw Ludicrous Thatch.
The vivisection is creating.
Let me tell you about my grandpa Thatch and my backstory a little bit while we're walking down this cannibal trail. No doubt to our death.
The trail cuts off in 2 directions, one heading south and the other one heading west.
Do we want to flip a coin?
Yeah, might as well. I don't.
Do we see any reason why we shouldn't just flip a coin?
You can make another survival to see if you can't find their track. Since it seems like they definitely started following the trail, it's much harder, since this trail seems pretty well traveled.
That
No
would make
whammies.
a lot of sense to try and track them instead of just guessing randomly.
21 again.
21. Okay. South is the way they went.
Hell yeah. South.
Was it the
find-
kisses on the trees that let us know?
It was
Yeah,
little
it's
tree
it's the
kisses.
captain's tree smooches.
They looked like
You just-
arrows.
Maybe the captain's like carving hearts in the trees with their initials.
Oh yes.
I found the breadcrumbs. It's just very inappropriate words for lovemaking, carved over and over again into these trees. And then also murder spelled backwards.
All right, you guys follow this trail for another mile or 2. It's winding. It heads deeper into the jungle, and the path you're taking does go further south into the island. Since you're in the lead, Phineas, make a perception check for me.
Okay, let me see what I got there. Let me see what my Perceptimundo is. It's fucking awesome. Fucking 8.
8?
Good
Okay.
job.
Hell yeah.
Phineas, you are walking forward. What is your AC?
My AC is 15.
Doesn't matter. Rolled really high.
Great. So I'm talking about my grandpa.
Yeah, you're talking about Ludicrous Thatch.
He was a great man and an intrepid explorer who was ridiculed out of high society for his ravings about the Ring of Winter.
When all of a sudden you feel something snatch at your leg and you are tugged upwards. You guys You guys further behind Phineas see that he has been snagged on some sort of rope snare and is now hanging upside down. Finn, the sort of the momentum and suddenness and of this has caused you bang your elbow on the ground and you take 2 damage.
Okay, I want to puke.
Okay, Phineas just pukes everywhere. He hit the swollen part of his face. It wasn't good, and he's
having an allergic reaction. He just got lurched in the air. He's full of rancid crab stew. It's not a good time. It's hot.
I think I would like to use this opportunity to show off my extreme athleticism.
Okay.
And let's go for something with a little flourish. I'd like to jump from tree to tree and get up there and cut him down.
Yes, Titus, please us with a feat of strength.
Roll an athletics check.
Oh, yes. So I'm at 12. That was not a great roll, but that's okay.
You don't do parkour, but I mean you're able to start climbing the tree that he is on, heading towards the rope. And as you are climbing on that tree, make a perception check.
This is no problem. 5.
Okay.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I will save you, tiny man.
I'll hurry up. All the blood's rushing to my head. All the blood. Oh no!
I can't believe you've ejected all the fruits of my labor all over the ground there, Phineas. I put a lot of work into that. I put calories into putting calories into your body, and now look at it. There's a big mess on the ground.
I don't even think that was cooked all the way.
It wasn't. It's escaviche.
As you guys are arguing, and as Titus is nearing the top of the rope, and he is slowly sort of trying to untangle the knot that is at the top of this tree, a spear is thrown from the bushes at Titus. What is your AC?
15.
15. That misses. So yeah, you guys just see a spear launch from the tree towards Titus. You guys see emerge from the bushes with another spear in hand and screaming wildly. He's just like ah, 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 as he starts bearing down on Montlimar and Eris. A nearly naked man. He is marked up in what looks like some ritual scarring and very simple tattoos. He is wearing a loincloth and is just charging you, Montlimar. He has his eyes are a little offset, like he doesn't look correct. He's got sort of fiery red hair. And you can just tell something's off about this guy, besides the fact that he's screaming and trying to kill you. So everyone roll initiative.
Oh shit, the captain dyed his hair, did some ritual scarring, got a bunch of tattoos, got naked, and melted a little bit in the last day. Montlimar got a 15.
Ooh, Titus got a 10.
Finney got a 15.
Okay, so Montlimar, you're first. You just see this man bearing down on you with crazed intent in his eyes.
How far away is he from Montlimar?
About 15 feet. He's just appearing from the bushes. He was next to the tree that the Phineas was pulled up by, and he is now charging you on the path.
Montlimar quickly casts a spell as he sees this man charging him with a spear. He casts jump on himself, and he leaps straight up into the air and snags a tree branch 15 feet up.
Okay. So yeah, Montlimar, you've leaped through the air and just abandoned Eris down there.
She's our sword person. That's what we brought her for.
Yeah, that's fine.
Get him, Eris. You can do it. I believe in you. His little wizard legs are dangling out from his robe. His sandals fall off and plop onto the ground.
Okay, Phineas, what do you do? You're next. You're currently dangling upside down, so you can't really move, but you can still try to make actions, but at disadvantage.
Yeah, dangling's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and try and cast a spell up here.
Okay.
I'm going to do Bless.
Okay.
Bless. I'm going to target the German fish.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Deutsch Boot? I am going to target Eris, our sword lady, and I'm going to target Wizrobe, dangling my fellow dangler. And do I have to roll for that if they're willing targets?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Great, no disadvantage for me. Everyone gets to add a d4 to their attack rolls. Great, that's my turn.
All right, yeah.
Can I wiggle a little bit as a try and get down? Like not a full action wiggle, just like quick action wiggle.
You just sort of wiggle helplessly.
Can I take the scarf off? It's covered in puke.
Yeah, you can.
All right, I dropped the scarf.
You drop the scarf. It lands on the cannibal. He like stops and shouts angrily.
Yeah, he can't touch me. I'm too high.
So the cannibal is just below us then.
Yeah, he's just below you.
All right. Well, can I abandon Phineas here for a moment? I'd really like to can I just jump down and skewer this guy with my trident?
Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah, drop kill.
Yeah. You drop with your trident in hand. Roll your attack.
It's 23. I'm gonna skewer this guy.
That is a hit.
2 + 3, 5.
So yeah, you fall down and just stab this guy right in the shoulder blades. You're not able to dig down deep enough to kill him because he's still got some HP left, but you are able to damage him pretty good.
And so now I'm standing on top of him on my trident. Is that?
No, you like land right next to him. I'm gonna say that was your move to drop, and then your action to attack him. So he's right next to you. It's now his turn. So instead of continuing to charge at Eris, he's going to turn and attack you.
You saved Eris. Good job.
So he just turns wildly, continuing to scream. He's like, "Ugh!" and tries to hit you with the tip of his spear. He did not roll enough to hit you, so you just sort of dance around his spear. He's looking more and more angry.
Your fighting technique is as bad as your throw.
I will say until you guys need it, or until she's forced into combat, Eris is just going to sort of sit back and watch. So it is now Montlimar's turn.
All right. I think the jump spell was a good move. I don't really know where to take it from here, though. At the risk of one of his scrawny arms not being sufficient to support him on this tree, he releases one hand and is now dangling by one arm, and he uses his other hand to wave his hands, or to make the gestures of an acid splash spell, and attempts to burn this jungle madman with acid.
Okay.
So he shoots a glob of acid at him.
Okay, I'll say since you're above him and you are not dangling upside down, gain advantage.
All right.
You got the high ground.
I think that did it. He got a 20 on his spell attack roll.
That hits.
Okay. Then that is I think that is 3 acid damage to this jungle madman.
Okay. Yeah, your glob of acid lands right where he was just impaled. So he's just
I closed his wound up for him.
He's screaming and writhing around. And it is Phineas's your turn. You're dangling upside down, but it looks like this cannibal man is not going to last much longer.
All right, great. I'm going to use my signature move. It's Toll the Dead, people. Here come the bells. The dong dong dong. He has to make a saving throw. He has to make a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so that is 13. He's got to make a 13 whiz save.
He failed.
Great. He takes a d12 of damage.
Oh, shit.
What's up, America? Because he was already wounded. Hand me that d12. Any d12. Thank you. That's a d20.
Even better.
That's so much more damage. Kadong. Kadong.
Not the way I roll.
Kadong. 5.
Okay, yeah, he is he just hearing bells and being pained
Yeah,
by
he's just hearing bells, and they like drive him mad, and they like pop his brain a little bit.
He just grabs his head and starts like swinging around madly, thrashing about, and then you just see his eyes roll in the back of his head upon hearing the noise of these bells, and just falls over dead.
Montlimar comes crashing down to the jungle floor.
You land on top of his body, cushioning your fall.
I did do the acid splash spell wrong. Turns out he's supposed to get a dex save against that.
Okay, next time. Just one cannibal.
Yeah, I hope there's not more.
A little help.
No. Can I just go ahead and throw a javelin at the vine to try and cut him down? I don't want to climb again.
Yeah, you don't. I'll just say if that's your intent, you do it. It cuts the rope that Phineas is stuck on. He just comes crashing down and takes.
Ooh, can you roll damage for Montlimar too?
Montlimar's fall
Just
was
fell
cushioned
15
by the
feet.
cannibal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Montlimar is cushioned by the. You know what? I'll say
Well-
Phineas is also cushioned by the cannibal.
Phineas was also cushioned by the vomit-covered scarves.
Oh,
Yeah,
true,
yeah, that's right.
Or
Yeah.
a pile of voluminous scarves down there.
It hurt, but not as bad as having your gross face rubbed against the solid ground as you were yanked up
It
by
wasn't
your
a
ankles.
lethal hurt.
That was a little bit worse because now I'm going to be exposed to that crab again.
Well, Era sort of like looks at this. She puts her sword back up, and she's just like, well, God, I guess the cannibals are a thing.
I forgot you were here.
I mean, I didn't really feel like I had to do anything. I mean, I didn't really want to steal anyone's thunder. I mean, come on now, you had it handled.
Yeah, well, unless that's the captain after 24 hours on this island, then yeah, I suppose there are a bunch of cannibals out here, which is very interesting and intriguing to me personally.
Yeah, upon further examination of the cannibal, like I said, he has sort of a brownish red hair. You look at his eyes and they're crossed, and his brow bulges a bit further than it probably should. And his arms are slightly misshapen.
Jungle mutant.
And he is light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like he's not really tanning. It seems like he's more getting sunburnt.
Can I roll a knowledge to figure out what's going on with this guy?
Yeah,
or
medicine check.
nature?
Yeah, that's what I need you to roll is medicine.
Okay. 5.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a gross man.
This man is clearly disgusting. Let's move on.
Okay, you guys continue south some more and come to another fork in the road. One, it heads east and looks like it heads north up a tall hill, and the other one continues south. And the trail has gone cold here, so you can attempt to roll another survival, but it's getting harder and harder to track.
I'm going to attempt to roll another survival
Okay.
because I don't have a... Oh, hell yeah. 19 plus 3.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't head towards this trail going off towards the north or to the east and north. It just keeps going south, and you guys continue traveling that way, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
we do.
Are there any
Cool.
more signs of cannibals along the way, aside from the trail that they have made?
Do we know that man was a cannibal?
No, I guess we don't. We haven't seen him eat anybody.
We haven't
Right.
seen him.
And you never will.
Yeah,
He's
we never
very
will.
dead.
Well, we should hope that we never do.
Yeah, you guys.
Zombie cannibals.
Oh, maybe we're the cannibals on account of we ate parts of that first mate. Maybe the cannibals are us all along.
There are cannibals on this island.
You were the cannibals all along. So yeah, you guys can continue to travel south. It goes down at about another 2-mile increment. I will say at this point, you guys took off probably early in the morning. Now it is definitely getting a little later not later in the afternoon. It's probably about like lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
There is another fork, one heading west and one heading east. Hit us with that good survival check.
All right, time for... So today is a day of survival. That is a 14.
14. You are not sure.
Oh, no.
Time to get lost.
Guys, there's kissy marks on trees on both sides of this fork. There's kissy marks over there, and there's kissy marks over there.
So is our voiceless companion of any use here?
Yeah, Eris is like, listen, my experts are not in the jungle. I can stab some things, sure, but she's like, I'm basically
she, though?
useless.
Yeah, can we have a sidebar real quick? I'd like a sidebar, guys. Why the hell did we bring her? She's not doing anything.
We need some extra muscle.
But we just fought a cannibal. She just stood there.
If I run out of weapons, then I can use her weapons.
Oh, that seems good. All right.
We can eat her.
Hey,
if
what are
we
you
get
three
lost.
talking
No.
about over there?
We're not talking about you.
I would like to sidebar too, please.
We're talking about how great a time everybody must be having back at the camp and how much we miss them.
If you're taking bets on how sharp your sword is, since we've never seen it used.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that is a snap. Fuck you. I don't know. I didn't have to use it.
Whatever. All right, left to right, folks. We got to make a decision. I have nothing. I have no advice. My survival well is dry.
Left would be east and right would be west for you.
Montlimar pulls a coin out of his vast coin pouch. Apparently, I have like 135 gold. I don't know how or why.
Look at you rocking.
Yeah, I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah, it's gonna help you buy a whole lot of stuff on this island.
Heads or tails? And he flips.
I mean, which way was heads and which way was tails?
I knew it in my head. You guys have to call it.
Oh. Tails.
Sure.
All right. Well, it was heads.
Yeah, which way do we go now?
Oh, damn it. Let's do somebody else decide.
Which way looks deeper into the island?
Which way was the cannibal's head facing, and which way was his tail facing?
Deeper into the island looks east. Or no, sorry, it looks like the western way.
All right.
Going west looks like you come out into some clearing.
All right, let's go deeper into the island. I think insane, obsessive captain type is going to go for the deepest, darkest part of the jungle, where he will lay with the victim of his obsession and foster a brood of tiny captains to run rampant around the island and consume one another.
This is just Heart of Darkness, man. It's straight out of his textbook.
We go that way.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys head west and head deeper into the island. So you guys travel for how long do you want to travel? Are you just going to keep going until you find something of interest?
So I don't know. I mean, we could turn back when the sun starts getting a little lower, so we get back to camp in time, or we could just press ahead and hope for the best. Maybe rough it out here for a little bit and cover ourselves up with some leaves and hope the mosquitoes don't suck all our blood out.
Grandpa
Or the
Grandpa
cannibals.
Ludicrous always said, sleep in trees, sleep in trees.
I like the way your grandpa thinks. I feel like we would have gotten along just great.
Let's look for a tree with some big, thick branches and climb up it and take a nap for the night.
Well, I mean, we could climb up a tree and then maybe see if there's anything further down this way. I mean,
that's a good idea, Eris.
See,
Thanks for contributing. Thank you.
I knew we brought you along for more than just your meat. I mean, just I mean, for your keen wits and your strong arms.
I have literally killed people for less.
Not recently.
Yes, that's true. Not recently, but I have. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, between the two of us, if we had to eat one of us, it'd obviously be you and not me. I'm a scrawny old man, no good meat on his bones. Forget about the whole thing. Let's climb the tree.
Who's climbing the tree?
I'll climb a tree.
So yeah, you take your time. You get to the top of it, and you're able to look out to the horizon. You find the tallest tree in the area.
Ejaculate. What do your fish eyes see?
Not a lot. It's really dry up here. You are probably a couple of miles from the southern shore of the island, like directly south. The trail continues sort of west, and you can tell that it heads south a little bit. And that way, towards where the trail ends, it seems like it ends on sort of the southwestern tip of the island, which you guys are still probably 2 or 3 miles from. You see buildings.
Oh. There's buildings?
Man buildings.
Man buildings?
What kind of men?
Handsome men.
Let's go there.
Well, I want to go check out some handsome men in their buildings.
So, I mean, how far in are we, right? I mean, if we keep going down the trail deeper into the island, eventually we're going to be heading less deep into the island, right?
Yeah,
that's true. That's the law of islands.
You've been heading deeper into the jungle, but not necessarily the island at this point. It seems like the southern end of the island is way more thick with the jungle. If you keep going at the pace you're going, you'll reach this area where you saw the buildings before nightfall.
Okay.
But you will not be able to get back to the camp before it gets dark.
I mean, with buildings, there's going to be food and beds and things. We might have to skewer some people, but I feel
We
like
might have to steal it or take it by force.
They might be
Yes.
our friends. We don't know anything about them. And
That's-
you're already talking about skewering, and probably you were going to say eat them. You were probably going to say eat them. You were about to say eat them.
I'm open to other cultures and their ways. I'm willing to adapt their customs and their cannibalism. And
we're running out of crab.
we are right. My cup of crab is almost empty. But when we started, my cup runneth over with crab. But now it is barren, and my stomach is empty and grumbling, and I'm getting some weird swelling in my feet.
That's because you keep eating those purple berries.
Keep having to dig these latrines every 15 feet.
Montlimar dies of dysentery in episode 3. His whole lizard body couldn't handle the strain.
It was the fantasy threat we never saw coming. But I think that's a fine point, young Phineas. We might not, perhaps the rest of them will be, perhaps that one cannibal got ejected for being so angry and happy with his spear hand, and maybe the rest of the cannibals will be amenable to making contact with other cultures and helping these our poor, deserted, washed up friends on the beach.
Yeah, sure, fuck it, whatever. Let's go.
I agree, Eris. I don't really believe anything I just said, but
Maybe they'll have us for dinner. Let's go.
So yeah, you guys continue to the southwest, and as Titus was correct at your speed, you guys do get there just before the sun begins to set, so there's still enough light for you guys to see, but not for long. So do you guys continue along? So as you guys are continuing along the trail, it's still pretty thick, so you can sort of make out some buildings. Do you continue along the trail, or do you take a stealthy approach through the forest?
As optimistic as I am about meeting these cannibals, I think we should try and get the drop on them if at all possible.
I agree. We should do a little bit of scouting here. I'm bad at that, though.
I'm not great.
I mean, I'm out of the water, so
Montlimar is a conjuration wizard and can summon objects out of thin air for up to an hour. So he conjures a spyglass into his hand and hands it and offers it to somebody who was willing to take it and says, "Is this helpful?" Magical spyglass. It glows. It shoots light everywhere.
That's the opposite of what we want.
I can't turn it off. It's just a thing that comes with this class feature. It glows.
We'll bury it in your poop hole, old man.
I mean, we could. Listen, I'm not really stealthy either. We could climb again, or
It's always climbing.
what are you going to do?
I don't know. I have no idea.
My grandpa sent me on a fool's errand.
Grandpa always said, let the sneaky people do the sneaking. We don't have any of those.
I'm at a loss here.
I'm small. I'm a wood elf. I think I get some bonuses where I can blend into trees. Like, probably.
Is that real?
I don't fuck.
Time to look it up.
That sounds real as heck. Let's look it up.
I could cover you in magical grease.
That would work.
Help you slither along the forest floor.
Just slide him right in the middle of the camp, greased up and ready for the fire.
Mask of the Wild. You can attempt to hide even when you're only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena. Wood elf.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, slightly sneaky.
Yeah, okay. I'll say since you're heavily obscured, you can gain advantage on this check.
I'll take it. Okay, everyone, I'm sneaking up. I'm sneaking up now.
Don't die.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks, everybody. 18.
Okay. Yeah. So with an 18, you dunk into the trees and begin slithering your way on the forest floor.
Just rolling around.
And appear
Map
sort
case.
of.
Okay, wait. I
Fucking-
want to take some mud.
Okay.
And I want to put it on my face.
On the swollen part.
I want to put it over my whole face.
Mhm.
I want to put it over my arms. I want to put it over my eyes. And I want to do like tiger stripes, like in the mud.
It soothes the swollen part.
Does
a little
it?
bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to stick some leaves to it too.
Okay, that hurts. That makes it worse. That might be poison ivy.
It might be poison ivy, but I'm doing that.
You slither upon the forest floor and come closer towards the camp. You get close enough to be able to see sort of the entire thing. You're actually impressed by this. This isn't just some sort of, haphazard put together camp, or even like something you would expect from like maybe cannibals who are washed up in this island. These are, although very weather worn and old, very well put together buildings. One at the very back of the camp overlooking the ocean on a cliff is what looks to be could be a functioning lighthouse.
Huh.
What?
We should tell Jask there's probably a bank here.
But yeah, there seems to be, and as you're looking through, you do see sort of at the foot of where the cannibal camp and the trail meets, you see just some sort of big lizard sitting there, like lazily just staring down the main pathway where you guys would have walked through.
Like how big?
Dragon turtle.
Definitely not dragon turtle. Dragon turtles are as big as islands.
Is this island a dragon turtle?
It could, maybe. Shit, man.
Hell yeah.
It's a new fiction. But you see sort of what looks to be a square where three main buildings overlook. One seems to be set up to what could have been a town hall at one point. Another looks like a storehouse. Another one hooked to the lighthouse looks like it could have been maybe some sort of barracks or living quarters at a time.
So this isn't like a ramshackle jungle town. This is like some sort of settlement that was here at some point.
Yeah. It looks what could have been a colony.
Is it on any of my maps?
Roll knowledge.
History?
Yeah, roll a history check.
Alrighty. 20.
So you recall at some point many years ago that there were a number of sailors who came, or not sailors, coloners who came to the Shiv looking to try to colonize the island. That was their goal, but no one ever heard from them ever again. So it sort of added to the mystery of the curse of the Shiv. That
Okay.
even when people came down here with good intentions, there was just never anything heard from them.
All right, now I want to roll a knowledge nature on that lizard.
Okay, roll a knowledge nature.
And that is, it's 25.
25.
Tell me,
okay.
tell me everything. Tell me his fucking name. Tell me where he likes to make. Tell me about his whole family. I want to know the genealogy, the taxonomy. I want to know who discovered him, what human they're named after, all that good stuff. Drop it on me.
It's just a giant lizard.
Fucking.
Good job.
You know that lizards such as these aren't necessarily rare in the jungle, and they can be a danger depending on if you're in their territory, if it's mating season, and you have known you do know that some people keep them as pets.
Okay.
They can be quite vicious if trained to be, or untrained to not vicious. So, but yeah, it's just a giant lizard. Nothing special about it.
All right, very good. All right, and how many cannibals do I see? Do I see people?
Yeah, you see that
Do I see them eating people?
So, I will say you see a number of cannibals sort of as you're looking at this, as you're studying this lizard very intently. You hear sort of drum beats beginning to well up from inside the cannibal camp, and from within that camp, you see from this sort of main building a very large man step out. He is nearly naked, just as the other one was, but his loincloth seems to be a little longer. He is adorned with some sort of cape covered in skulls and made out of leather. He has a big sword that he is brandishing and a very menacing-looking shield in the other hand. And many cannibals begin to step out and begin to watch him and beat drums as he begins shouting and yelling. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Elvish, Chultan, Draconic, Giant, and Goblin.
Damn.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
You do not understand what he is saying, but
Damn.
he is like screaming in a very like guttural like
Ve'amak moasa fanguk, fliuk fliuk, ewavak ag of marvas nyen.
and is just shouting and like swelling up and beating his chest, and all the other cannibals are shouting with him. From further down the path, the three of you hear you hear the beats of drums, and you hear someone shouting too. His voice is carrying, but you can't necessarily make out what he's saying or what language he is speaking. And then all of you turn to see a large plume of dark smoke rising in the distance. You know it's the signal fire your companions were meant to set. With one last battle cry, the cannibal chieftain points his sword towards it. His intent is clear, as a large group of cannibal warriors, spears in hand, begin to march together down the trail towards your base camp and in your direct path.